In Idaho, it seems that everyone is welcome except for one classroom teacher. We're going to be taking a look at an article today. The headline reads, Sixth grade teacher resigns rather than remove absolutely harmless sign from her classroom. Then she shared her blistering resignation letter with her local paper. This is published on Upworthy on May 19th, 2025. Now, why exactly did this teacher resign, and what is this harmless classroom poster? Well, we're going to answer those questions here in this video. And as a matter of fact, I've already talked about this story on my TikTok. You can look me up, Classroom Camper. And I posted a YouTube short about this, but we're going to go over this in a little bit more depth. And by the way, my name is Holden. Welcome to Classroom Camp. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. I would love to stay connected with you here on YouTube. So let's take a look at this article and see what it actually says. So here we are. It says a sixth grade teacher in Idaho was recently told by school administrators to remove a controversial sign from her classroom. She refused. That's the long and short of this whole issue. But here is the scenario. Earlier this spring, world civilization teacher Sarah Inama at Lewis and Clark Middle School was told that one of the posters in her classroom was inappropriate. The school asked her to remove it. Initially, she complied, but upon reflection and discussion with her husband, decided that it didn't feel right. She needed to take a stand. So Inama put the poster back up and left it visible for all to see, even after administrators warned her she could lose her job over the non-compliance. Finally, among growing outcry and threats of termination, Inama decided to resign rather than remove the poster. She bravely decided to stick up for her controversial beliefs, even though she knew her personal opinion may not be popular. Here is an image of the poster. It says everyone is welcome. You can see that everyone has kind of multi-colors. I don't know if you would call this rainbow, but there is that. And then a bunch of hands here at the bottom with hearts in the palm, and the hands are all different colors or arms, whatever you want to call them. So that is the scenario, and this teacher posted or shared her resignation letter with the news. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at some of what she said in that letter. It says here, this will be my last year teaching in the West Ada school district, and it saddens me to leave under these circumstances. I cannot align myself nor be complicit with the exclusionary views and decisions of the administration. It is deeply troubling that the people running this district and school have allowed a welcoming and inclusive message for my students to be considered controversial, political, and worst of all, an opinion. She goes on there, but one thing that I did want to highlight is that in the article it says, what's hard to believe is that a sign meant to show kids that they are welcome in Inama's classroom somehow reflects a personal belief that the school won't tolerate. The sign made no mention of religion or LGBTQ plus identities or political ideologies, and it was still deemed too woke. That's extremely frightening. So this is a very interesting case here. And there are a lot of people out there who support this teacher and do think that it is ridiculous that she ended up resigning. But I do want to talk about a couple of things here in this article to just give you a full picture and allow you to think about some things. Now, first of all, the article does state that the teacher initially took the poster down, but she later went back and hung it back up to take a stand against the school. Now, that in and of itself is really, in my opinion, kind of at the heart of the issue here, because it's not that she is, just in non-compliance and is losing her job or resigning or whatever. It's that she decided that this was the hill that she was going to die on, that she was being defiant towards the administration and what she was being told. And as far as resigning, like you can't You can't argue with that. The fact that you are being willfully defiant, in the same way that if a student is willfully disrespectful to a teacher, well, there are consequences. And she knew that this was coming. She decided to resign, and I guess maybe she will seek employment elsewhere, but that is it. So there's really no claiming or arguing or rallying, even though there are people rallying behind this teacher, but rallying for her to get her job back, because you made your decision. You stood up against the school, and regardless of what people think about it being brave or anything like that, still you can't do that sort of thing. You cannot be defiant. And I'm not here to talk about whether or not this poster or the school's stance on this is right or wrong. Each school district has its own policies, its own way of dealing with things, and I'm not going to criticize that school district. I'm more critical of the teacher, if anything. And I mean, I'm not really critical. This is what she wanted to do, and she's resigning, and that's the end of it. And if your personal belief about a situation or about your right to hang a poster in your classroom is more important than your job, then go ahead. Resign. Find somewhere else. There are plenty of schools looking for teachers. There are plenty of schools that are looking for teachers that may support her ideologies, whatever they may be. So I'm sure that she will find a job elsewhere. It might not be in the same area, but there is hope for her. Now, I actually want to talk about a situation that I experienced that is very similar to what she's experiencing. And I want to go back and reread this little snippet I read here that talks about the poster. It says, "What's hard to believe is that a sign meant to show kids that they are welcome in anonymous classrooms somehow reflects a personal belief that the school won't tolerate. The sign made no mention of religion or LGBTQ plus identities or political ideologies, and it was still deemed too woke. That's extremely frightening." So right now I live in Louisiana. I am planning to move to Texas, but it's not that far away. But so my first year at the school that I'm currently leaving, actually, because I'm moving, that's all there really is to it. But my first year there, so I've spent 3 years at this school, and during my first year, I actually purchased this poster and had this up on the wall. So I had an "Everyone is welcome here" poster. And notice that the everyone is in rainbow colors, and there's a heart here, and there's all these people standing over here on the sides in different colors. And then also, "Everyone belongs." I was gonna hang this one as well. It has the heart, and it's like a rainbow heart. Well, so during this first year, it was the beginning of the school year, and I had this paraprofessional that came in, and she was younger. I think she was like 24, and she saw this poster that I was gonna hang, and she said, "You might not want to hang that up." And I said, "Why?" I had to double take. I was like, "I don't see anything wrong with the poster. Everyone is welcome here." She said, "Yeah, but it does have the rainbow colors, and look at the heart on it, and it's an LGBTQ poster." She said that to me, okay? And I believe, just based on what I know about this particular person, which, shout out to her. She probably isn't watching this, but I really enjoyed her as my paraprofessional. She's great. But she I think she was LGBTQ friendly, and it stood out to her. Like, she saw that what this poster represented, I guess, to her. And so I would say that the poster that she had, despite what people are saying about it not being LGBTQ or taking a stance or being political in nature, I don't know that that's necessarily the truth. I don't know that you can actually say that, because I think that symbols are exactly as they are, symbols. And I mean, for you, what a sign or poster means, it might be different for someone else. Because as the story that I told you, I personally experienced that. Because for me, it just said everyone is welcome. And but for someone who is a little bit younger and maybe more in the know about the LGBTQ, or just is hypersensitive to those things, that's what it represented to them. So you have to be careful about this. And like I said, the teacher is resigning, and she says that it was just welcome. And yeah, it's just like uh, the situation that I had. However, what's different about me and this teacher in Idaho is that I saw this and I valued my job. I was just starting at this school and I valued my position there. I wanted things to work, and I didn't hang that poster up. I said, absolutely not. If there is going to be anyone, the potential that administration is going to come in, see that poster, and have anything negative to say about me or call me in for a meeting, I don't want that to happen to me. I value my job. I'm not going to do that. And I think that for teachers out there who are concerned about their position, in my opinion, that is the best stance to take, because you are there to teach. You're not there to push any type of message or take a stand or be defiant, as is the case of this teacher that decided that they were going to stand for their beliefs above what the school wanted them to do. So that's my commentary on this. Again, I hope that this teacher is able to find another job somewhere that is comfortable and is in a good location for them, because we need teachers. But at the same time, this was the hill she chose to die on, and so be it. So be it. I don't feel sorry for her in any way. She could have kept her job. All she had to do was comply with what the school asked, but she decided not to. So if you want to do that, hey, do your thing. But for teachers out there that value their position, all you got to do is show up, do your job, care about the children, and that's all that is required of you, really. So anyways, those are my thoughts on this issue. What do you think about it? Let me know down in the comments section. Also, remember, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm Holden from Classroom Camp, and I'll see you in the next one.